Wherever I'm at, she'll follow me.
His obsession is with me.
I just wanted a picture of your face.
You better damn well hope no cop stops me or any of these idiots get in my way.
Tonight on 48 Hours.
Stuff shipped to victims with razor blades in the packages.
They're obsessed.
Do you have any idea what this is?
No.
You're like being a hostage or a prisoner, like serving time.
And their victims are terrified.
This man lives to kill me.
I wanted her to care about me because I cared a great deal about her.
He loved the young actress so much.
I said, I forgot to give you this, and I fired.
He killed her.
I didn't feel deranged or psycho.
Scale of 0 to 10, he's a 10. One of the sicker people I've seen.
This guy walked in and went right to me.
A soap star reveals for the first time her real-life horror.
Nothing can be done until he hurts me.
Somebody's following me.
And a Midwest family doctor sets a trap for a mystery woman.
Hello?
Stalker. You don't have to be famous to meet one.
It was an obsession. I do realize that, and I just couldn't let go,
One victim called it a never-ending hell. You receive letters and phone calls. You are followed wherever you go. No peace, no privacy. A life in fear of what could happen. While attacks are rare, a study prepared for the Justice Department says they are on the increase. The targets of these obsessions are often ordinary citizens. Now one state, California, is taking steps to protect people from stalkers. The case that galvanized the public, the fatal attraction of a disturbed young man for an up-and-coming actress.
This is an 8x10 photograph, publicity shot of Rebecca Schaefer. She was going to be a great success. Indeed, she stood on the brink of success. She was going to be quite a star, or so it appeared at the time that she was murdered. And it was a brutal and hideous act.
It was a murder that shocked Hollywood. Marcia Clark was the prosecutor who put Rebecca Schaefer's killer where he is now, behind bars.
How would you describe Robert Bardo?
I would describe him as somewhat mentally disordered, but extremely intelligent, egocentric, supremely selfish, obsessed with fame and notoriety, and a premeditated and cold-blooded murderer.
I didn't see myself as a star stalker, I just thought of myself as a supportive fan,
Today, 21-year-old Robert Bardo is giving his first television interview. It's a glimpse inside the mind of this obsessed killer.
And it was an obsession. I do realize that, and I just couldn't let go,
You realized it at the time that it was an obsession?
I realized it was an obsession, but I didn't realize it was going to be very destructive,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize, I didn't think I'd actually meet her and actually be responsible for her death. And I noticed her, and she was a pretty girl, very spunky, and she seemed about my age, so I just fell for her right then.
Fasten your seatbelts. I finally have my certificate of completion.
Bardo found his obsession on television in 1986.
How am I going to get any better if no one will take me out to practice?
When Rebecca Schaefer made her national debut on the CBS sitcom My Sister Sam.
It's just the right person at the right time in my life, at that time that she came in.
Thanks, Jack. And I get you back in one piece. So I'll see you.
I really didn't have anything else in my life, to look forward to. I was kind of depressed, And,
On a scale of 0 to 10, among schizophrenics, he's a 10. One of the sicker people I've seen.
Dr. John Stolberg was the first psychiatrist to interview Bardo after the murder.
In his teenage years, he was non-functional, hallucinating, developing obsession with school teachers, and required 2 hospitalizations because of his mental disorder.
Bardo's attorney, Stephen Galendo.
The state tried to give him some psychiatric care, but the family pulled him out and prevented him from doing that. So, unfortunately, he is a victim of some neglect.
With Rebecca Schaefer, he found an obsession. She was the answer to his lonely, depressed, miserable life.
She was basically the girl next door as far as I was concerned.
Over 3 years, Bardo made countless phone calls to Rebecca's agents and studio. He wrote Rebecca dozens of letters, and still he was not considered a threat.
I wrote to her that how great I thought she was. I wrote lyrics to the song from the Beatles, Help, and she wrote me back. She wrote, Robert, your letter was the nicest and most real letter I ever received, and she underlined real. She wrote, please take care, and I wrote a heart sign symbol. And when I received that, I was like, very happy to receive that, you know.
What mistakes were made?
Gavin DeBecker, a security expert for Hollywood stars.
Well, I think the most tragic mistakes that were made here had to do with encouraging a relationship through responding in a personalized way to someone's letter from a stranger.
DeBecker helped the prosecution convict Bardo.
In all of his life, Robert Bardo had received no positive response from women. He had never dated, he had never kissed a woman other than his mother. And in all of his life, the only woman who ever responded to him with any warmth or intimacy or interest was Rebecca Schaefer.
You know, I just decided to save up my money and try to keep visiting her in L.A.
On his first trip to Los Angeles, Bardo came to this Warner Brothers lot where Rebecca Schaefer was taping her TV series, My Sister Sam. He got as far as this security checkpoint, and the head of Warner Brothers Studio Protection, Jack Ager.
He had a 5.5-foot teddy bear with him, and a great big bouquet of flowers, almost as big as the teddy bear.
But as you looked at him, did he look sick? Did he look troubled?
No. He looked lovesick.
Ager turned him away.
I was upset, you know, that I could not see her, and I decided that I'd keep writing her and keep trying to see her, and it started, you know, that's why I started a love-hate thing with her. I love her and I adore her, and then at times I just hated her for not seeing me, and I think she'd be, you know, arrogant, you know.
He returned a few months later, this time with a knife.
I thought she didn't even deserve to be a star if she had that type of attitude, and I decided that I was going to do something about it, you know.
Bardo claims he became even more agitated when he saw Rebecca Schaefer in bed with a man. Even though it was only in the movie, scenes from a class struggle in Beverly Hills.
She's covered up and he's naked next to her. I just thought that was going too far for her, you know.
Was there jealousy when you saw that?
A little bit, yeah, I'd say so.
This is another thing that was seized from the attic crawl space. This was his, what I call the list for his assassin's kit. So he carried the gun and the bullets. He bought special bullets.
On July 18th, 1989, Robert Bardo arrived here in this Los Angeles neighborhood. He had paid a private detective $250 to help him locate Rebecca Schaefer. Her address was found in the California driver's license records. Bardo rang the intercom buzzer to her apartment. He expected to hear Rebecca's voice, but to his surprise, she came to the door.
Well, and it's, and after spending nearly 3 years trying to meet her, I mean, there she is right there, you know. I said, I'm a fan of yours. And, you know, she's just staring at me, you know, wondering who the heck I am, you know. And I left.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a pleasant visit. I was just happy. I was like sad that I met her, you know.
But minutes later, he returned, rang the intercom buzzer again, and according to prosecutor Marcia Clark, he then jumped back and hid behind the bushes.
I figured I could speak to her anytime I wanted to, you know. I didn't feel I didn't feel deranged or psycho or in that case. I thought I was perfectly normal. I thought I was happy meeting my favorite celebrity, you know.
He stood behind this bush, watched her come down the hallway.
Yeah, I see her again. She's coming towards the door. Her hair's wet.
Waited for her to open the door, come out onto the porch, grabbed her by the arm.
He did not intend to kill her. He did not intend to harm her. Perceived that she was, in his term, arrogant, mean, and belligerent, and a whole host of other things, he then snapped.
The last thing she did, she just looked down and looked at me, and then with this arm, with the gun in the bag, I said, I forgot to give you this, and I fired one shot into her chest. She starts screaming like she's sobbing. Why? Why? you know. And I'm just like sitting there, oh my God, I've killed her, oh my God, you know, I'm like totally freaking out, you know. And I take the gun to my head trying to figure out, you know, I thought, oh my God, I can't, no, she's, you know, I'm totally panicking, I killed someone, so I'm trying to kill myself, and the gun's still in the bag, you know, I thought I could do it, you know, and all this is happening so quickly, you know, and totally freaking out, you know, and
Bardo was arrested back home in Tucson and later returned to California. In October of last year, he was convicted of first-degree murder.
This man was as in love with the notion of assassination as he was with this notion of fame.
I didn't kill her for fame or anything like that. I know I wanted her to care about me because I cared a great deal about her, you know, and I do realize I should be punished. I can understand that. I know there's a lot of people who hate me for what I've done, and, you know, and I think I'm crazy, lunatic, and all.
Later, Bardo will hear that punishment, but not before he also hears about the pain of the other victims, Rebecca Schaefer's family.
I'm Rebecca's mother.
He could be anyone, just another face in the crowd, just another fan of a popular daytime television actress. But he isn't a fan, he's a fanatic, a stalker, and for 5.5 years, his prey has eluded him.
The scariest part to me is the way he doesn't give up. You know, in all these years, he does not give up.
I'm scared. In fact, I'm terrified.
On television, she was Tina Clayton.
But I've never felt so loved.
One of the steamiest stars of One Life to Live.
In my life.
One of the most popular characters ever on daytime television.
Off camera, she is actress Andrea Evans.
You're the only person in the whole world who means anything to me.
Living a real-life drama of her own and talking about it for the first time.
It started 5.5 years ago. One day I was coming in from having lunch at work into the studio. There was a guard, but this guy walked in and went right to me and grabbed me and turned me around and started yelling at me about a dog.
That was just the beginning. A week later, her stalker slashed his wrists in front of the studio. And then came the death threats.
He asked me when, how, where I would like to die. He would put swastikas in blood all over the letters. Did me death to the blonde whore. Little quotes like, Andrea, don't stay up late. You're going to die anyway. I can't even think of how many different ways he has said this to me. I had to have 2 armed guards with me everywhere I went. I was advised just to go to work and to go home. My phone was tapped. I was fainting at work. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep.
What did you finally decide to do about it?
To leave. That was the final straw to me, that I should leave. That I should leave New York.
For Andrea Evans' protection, we can't tell you where she moved. We can't show you her house, or even the car she drives. But while we can't tell you where she's living, we can tell you she's still living in fear.
I have to have numerous alarms, security, dogs, all sorts of things just to protect myself. Because it's a necessity. And I have nobody to help me with that but myself.
When Andrea left New York, she also left behind the steady work and paycheck of the soap opera.
Taught me the most important lesson of my entire life. All the world is a stage, and life is a soap opera.
On this day, we found her appearing in a small production, hundreds of miles from Broadway.
The producers of my show are aware of the situation, and I've been given security.
Well, wondering who was behind me, and
I look at every single face in the house, because it is a small house, and check to make sure he is not there.
You want to know about life? Okay, I'm going to tell you about mine.
I don't get mail. I don't register to vote. Things, just basic little things that people take for granted that I don't have anymore, that I've lost the right to.
Do you think you're overreacting to this?
There were times in the very beginning that I wondered this. And no, I'm not.
Anyone
who is in the public eye, who receives consistent threatening messages from a stalker, should definitely take that seriously.
Psychiatrist Jonathan Siegel studies stalker personalities.
Even though only a small percentage of them will actually do anything about it, you never know which one it's going to be.
What turns somebody into, we'll say, a stalker?
We presume that there must be something at the core of that person's personality that's simply missing. That's why they need someone else so desperately. And you often find that when the person they need so desperately turns them away time after time, they respond with anger and feelings of revenge. Sigmund Freud said that which a man hates, you may be sure he once loved. And I think that applies to stalkers.
Max, I know your touch even in my sleep.
The people that they might attack are the same ones they once loved.
I'm so glad you talked me into this.
Why do you think you've been singled out?
Yeah, I wish I knew. I mean, if it was my color of my hair, I'd dye it. But I have no way of knowing that. I have done everything in my power, from writing to legislators, to my parents writing to legislators, appealing to police, appealing to FBI, and I am always told that nothing can be done until he hurts me.
Unfortunately, that's the case.
FBI Special Agent Jim Wright.
Everybody has their rights, and these people tend to be very intelligent, and they know what line they can cross and what they can't.
In this case, after the government filed charges against the stalker for sending threats through the U.S. mail, he simply switched to a delivery service.
And in that case, then, the FBI can do nothing?
Right. They learn by their mistakes. And many times, in fact, in most cases, these people do not have criminal records. And when they come before the judge at time for sentencing, they're put out on probation, or they're warned, or they get a minimal sentence, and it doesn't stop them.
It's been 6 months since Andrea Evans last heard from her stalker.
I knew we shouldn't come in here.
It could be years before she feels safe.
The reality is that she will probably have to be careful until this man is either imprisoned for a long period of time, or, as commonly happens, shifts it to someone else.
But he doesn't. His obsession is with me. This man lives to kill me. That's what he wants more than anything. And that he has not given that up in all these years, I don't know that he ever will.
The thought crossed my mind. Maybe she's out there walking around. Maybe she's just looking through the window.
I still hear the phone ringing, even when it's not ringing.
She can be hiding behind a telephone pole. She could be hiding behind a car.
I don't put anything past her.
Arthur Navarro is a man who is haunted and hunted.
There's always the thought she may become physically violent.
He's been stalked for 4 years by a woman he barely knows.
That's what I've been telling people all along. I never had a relationship with this person.
The obsession started by chance. 4 years ago, Navarro met a woman at a bus stop.
And she had a couple of Russian literature books.
The woman was a Russian student, and so was Navarro. He asked her to tutor him.
She welcomed the idea.
But after 3 lessons, she asked him out.
And I told her, look, you know, the relationship that we have is simply a working relationship. I'm not interested. And that's when nightmare began.
From that moment on, the woman has shadowed Arthur Navarro.
You're like being a hostage or a prisoner, like it's serving time.
We were asked not to tell you her name. We can tell you that she has influenced nearly every step he takes.
I've changed my jogging pattern. I don't always go the same route because I know that somewhere along my course of my run, she's going to be out there.
She camped outside his house.
She's pacing back and forth right over there. She'd be out there for 5, 6, 7 hours. Everybody noticed. Everyone. Hi, Arthur Navarro.
And she called thousands of times.
Well, that would be great.
At all hours.
Thanks. Bye.
Arthur Navarro did not change his number.
I wasn't going to let her beat me at her own game of harassment.
He did get another phone line.
Hello.
He also had to get another advertising job.
At 10:30, we'll start.
Every morning, Navarro found his phone machine crammed with her messages.
I would press the button and it would tell me you've got 25 messages. 25 messages as of 10 o'clock last night.
She's even interrupted his business meetings.
She'll contact the front desk and ask the front desk, I'm trying to get a hold of Arthur Navarro, it's really important. And she'll find out exactly where I'm at.
There was no escaping her.
Wherever I'm at, she'll follow me.
Navarro thought he could get away from her by moving.
Don't put anything past her.
But she tracked down his parents and sent him letters through them.
I got probably about close to 400 to 500 letters. Arthur, I just thought it would be better if I thought you are... She never made any sense in her letters. I received a three-dimensional picture from her. A picture of her on a cross.
Although Navarro heard from her, he didn't see her for 3 years. And then...
I was in my room. This was 4th of July weekend. I heard somebody come up. I mean, I'm close enough to you can hear from here. Say, Arthur, darling, come on down. And there she was. I came down and began to escort her down the stairs here. She goes, well, how come you haven't called me? And she looks at me and she's got this look, these black sunglasses on, blonde hair that's kind of like barbed wire, kinky out, you know, and her missing tooth, and her nails were black and dirty. And so I sat down with her. I said, all right, let's talk. Then she just started crying, and she just started crying.
When she showed up again after 3 years, I mean, what did you think?
Number one, is this ever going to stop?
Arthur Navarro got a restraining order to keep the woman away from him, but even that didn't work. She appealed in courtrooms all over Los Angeles. She lost every time, but the police believe in her mind she may have won, because even though she had to drag him into court, at least she got to see him.
Oh, Arthur, I cannot do anything. I love you and I don't want to be frustrated.
Obviously, she is obsessed with Mr. Navarro, and she believes that Mr. Navarro loves her.
Detective Doug Raymond is handling Navarro's case.
A restraining order was obtained by...
Raymond works for a new unit in the Los Angeles Police Department called the Threat Management Unit.
This unit acts upon situations before they actually become a crime. Yeah, we want to drive by the location.
It's the first and only police squad in the country set up to deal with stalker cases.
And we want to try and avoid another Rebecca Schaefer.
The unit was set up after Rebecca Schaefer's murder.
We don't deal just with celebrities.
In fact, more than half their cases involve people who are not famous.
Maybe I should set up just a little bit north of her in case...
The unit keeps track of suspects by surveillance.
There's our court of error.
And computer profiles.
The victim is adhering to all of the precautions we advised.
It also gives victims advice.
Threat Management Unit advised it. Keep an eye out. Don't always take the same route.
The strongest advice to any victim?
Take this seriously.
Police Chief Darrell Gates.
Given the problems we have in mental health in this country, you'd be a fool not to take it seriously.
A man can only take so much before he blows his fuse.
I'm pissed off, yeah.
I just wanted a picture of your face. Be very careful of the messages you send me tomorrow and in the future.
Since it was created about 1.5 years ago, the Threat Management Unit has collected a bizarre assortment of tapes and mail.
Yeah, me again, surprise.
I think I've had just about enough of you people. You better damn well hope no cop stops me or any of these idiots get in my way.
We've had people write on newspaper with blood. We've had stuff shipped to victims with razor blades in the packages, animal parts. A lot of these individuals are obsessive. They tend to become very repetitive.
Well, this is particularly odd. Do you have any idea what this is?
No. We'll never make the Museum of Art.
Police are not sure what all these things mean.
It's a new field.
They're just learning how to separate kooks from killers.
Is Arthur Navarro in danger?
He could be. We're dealing with a mentally disordered individual.
Our victim's Art Navarro, right?
Right.
The Threat Management Unit finally arrested the woman for violating a restraining order one too many times.
First order of business? Get a restraining order.
She did 10 days in jail.
And she's now on probation.
Now she's being watched while she's on probation. But Arthur Navarro is not sure he's heard the last of her.
This woman is extremely intelligent. Don't put anything past her. She figured out how to find me, found out where my P.O. box was, knew how to get my phone number. Put anything past her.
Still ahead on 48 Hours.
Somebody's following. What frightens me more than anything else is the fact that on a couple of occasions where she called, she said that she just saw me get out of the car. That means that somebody's following me, or somebody is watching my house.
For 6 months, a mystery woman has been stalking Jim Barr.
If there was a land where wishes came true, my first wish would be to share forever with you.
Sending him flowers, cards, letters.
Sorry I called, but I still love you.
Calling the house all hours of the day and night.
My biggest fear is that she's going to show up on my doorstep someday, and I'm going to be defenseless.
Martha is Jim's wife.
What kind of person is this?
Oh, it's a depressed individual. This is a person that has a psychiatric problem. Extremely shy, withdrawn, possibly abused as a child.
I don't think she's ever been married. I think she is very lonely and pathetic. Let's see. I just happened to fall in love with a wonderful man. I'm so sorry if I'm causing a lot of problems. You know, I constantly ask myself, where is all of this going to go? What will it take to make her stop?
You can have a seat. They'll call you back in a few minutes.
Jim Barr is a family doctor with a booming practice in a suburb outside Columbus, Ohio.
Well, you really have to understand, hi guys, you know, a lot of the relationship that I have with my patients. I mean, I give everybody a hug, and, you know, I'm a very touchy guy. Just sore.
Is the first name Debbie, did you say?
Do you know how big his practice is? He sees 40 patients a day. He has 285 patients a month.
Carl Hubner and Lois Cawley are private detectives hired by the Barrs to find the stalker.
I was in his office yesterday for the first time, and it's like walls of files.
Have we eliminated the clerical staff as a possibility?
No.
While local police wouldn't take the case without an actual threat, the detectives believe she could be dangerous.
I don't know how stable a person like this could be. 1 minute she goes through the I love you routine, and page 7 goes through the please forgive me, I want to take pills routine.
Yeah, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Dr. Barr thinks the stalker watches him leave the office, but he's never seen her. The only person who has is a florist who remembers a blonde woman about 5'4", somewhere between 30 and 35 years of age, and heavyset, around 180 pounds. 4 of Dr. Barr's patients with a history of psychiatric problems match this description.
We're trying to evoke some sort of response so we can tell who she is.
Carl is setting a trap. He's sending a card to each of the 4 patients, asking them to call on Saturday afternoon.
I'm writing if I was the doctor.
The card is not signed.
Basically, I'm writing, please don't consider the pills.
Only the stalker will know who and what number to call.
And then I'll be free to talk around 2:30 on Saturday. Just go up half an hour or an hour at each time on each person.
The cards are mailed. The Barrs must wait.
I'm much more aware of locking the doors behind me.
Are you Daddy's little princess?
In recent days, Martha's fears have increased, along with the calls and cards from the stalker.
I'm sorry, but I will never tell you who I am. You're married, and I know you love your wife and the kids very deeply, and they need you. I am not important in anyone's life. It's kind of weird to think that somebody wants what you have.
Heavy.
She could actually be a threat.
Heavy.
And you couldn't stop her right now either, because you can't be out there 24 hours a day.
No, we can't be out there 24 hours a day, and most clients couldn't afford that either.
There is a faster and easier way to identify the stalker, but so far, the Barrs have been unwilling to try it.
We could notify the phone company and have the phone company put a tap on the phone and do a caller ID, but the phone company is obligated to prosecute. And this person, I don't necessarily want him to go to jail.
You know, she may force us into that situation.
Well, that's right. And to tell you the truth, I'm reaching that point very quickly.
But for today, it's now Saturday, the Barrs are just going to sit by the phone. If it rings at 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, or 4:30, they'll know who the stalker is. If she calls, the bars hope to arrange a meeting. But 1:30 comes and goes. No phone call.
Isn't this pretty common, though? Common that patients fall in love with their doctors?
I don't think it's very common that people act out on that.
2:30 passes. Still no phone call.
If no one calls today, where do you go from here?
I suppose some way I will have to put it away for myself, for my own personal sanity. I will just have to...
Hello?
Jim.
Yes.
Hi, it's Joyce.
Hi, Joyce.
Are you sleeping?
No.
Do you ever find yourself looking out the window and wondering if she's watching this house?
Oh, sure. Sure. A lot.
It's the last chance for the stalker to call. And exactly at 4:30...
Hello?
This is Alexa. Can Jackie play?
Can Jackie play?
Yeah.
I'll ask her.
Disappointed? No. I can't say disappointed. I'm trying to work myself up to the fact that we're not going to know who this is.
The investigation into the identity of the mystery woman has now gone on for 8 months. The cost of the bars, so far, over $800.
It needs to stop. You know, I have a family too, I have a life too, I have my children, and it just needs to come to an end.
We have people that have shown up at these kind of events with knives, with guns. Of course, we got to be prepared for the unexpected. We have worked 3 months on this thing to make sure...
Phil Little and Michael Eubanks are private detectives.
If there's a question, let me know. Handled.
Their assignment?
So they're briefed on both of the suspects.
Stalking the stalkers.
If they try something, then we'll take action.
Okay, the blue suits are on a attack alert tonight, so we're going to...
Ever since Rebecca Schaefer's murder, security has been a growth industry in Hollywood.
All the main talent will be coming in this door.
Okay.
They are coordinating security for one of those affairs only Hollywood can throw.
Well, there's some potential danger here tonight.
Hey, can we get a couple more bodies up here, at least one or two?
A counseling agency called Pacific Center is paying tribute to Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh, and it's all for a good cause, and what a wonderful reason.
For her work against AIDS. Hundreds of Hollywood's most elite will be coming here.
It says okay with the pink. They don't get in unless it's 6:30 or after.
The security men will have to be on their toes.
Well, I mean, you look at this place. I mean, this is a wide open hotel. I mean, come over here. Yes. Out here, there's this huge lobby. How do you control that? There's all of this open area here, stairs, elevators.
This hotel probably makes the security job about 3 times as hard.
Main entrance. Okay, you got a guy coming in. He's in the back row with Lyle Alzado. It looks like he might have a leg holster or something on. I'm not sure, but Thor's following him right now just to check it out.
There are some specific people with description and pictures that our people have been briefed on that are known to be interested in certain celebrities that are going to be here tonight.
Can I ask how many people you're worrying about?
Well, there's a number of people. We're not really going to be specific about that.
More than 5?
But it's more than 5.
More than 10?
In that area.
Outside the main entrance.
I got a guy over on the other side of the other guy, right behind me.
The security team focuses on 3 people in the crowd.
One of them's been a problem at other places.
Okay.
He's a known, and he's right up in the front.
Since they have not done anything illegal, we've concealed their identities. 2 have hassled stars before.
He's got glasses on. Yeah. That's the guy that always rushes the car up at ABC.
1 fits a secret psychological profile the detectives use.
What's raised your suspicion?
Looks, mannerisms, how they're talking, from past experience and from the profile, that we're going to watch these people.
Just watch how close they get to the stars tonight.
We're going to need you to stay up on the sidewalk from now on, okay?
Most of them are severely mentally ill. The majority of these people are not treatable.
Bruce Danto is a psychiatrist and an investigator who works with Michael and Phil's agency, West Coast Detectives.
We feel their misperceptions and their delusions are right. I think this is a growing problem. I think that we are going to be facing more and more security problems for people because of untreated individuals who develop this kind of mental illness in our society.
Thor,
Go ahead, he's almost through the door now.
You do go out and you'll confront them and you'll say, get out of here.
Absolutely not. We never confront the individuals.
Watch your step.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, I would think you'd want to scare them.
We don't want to scare them. We don't want to give them the recognition that they crave, which may cause them to do more. All we want to do is observe and report.
The stars themselves are reluctant to talk about stalkers. Is it dangerous for them to talk about it publicly?
Absolutely. It's giving the person exactly what they want, which is the recognition.
And obsessed people will do almost anything for recognition.
Somebody left this out at the press desk and wanted this handed to Elizabeth Taylor.
They have sent unbelievable things through the mail. Body parts. Fingers, toenails, fingernails in their entirety. Unimaginable things. You imagine it, and that's what was sent.
You can open it?
Should I?
Sure.
Okay. It seems like it's an open letter.
That's innocent.
Yeah, that's right. But you never know. You check them all out.
We've got movement with Elizabeth.
The security team seems to have everything under control.
Edwards, how's it going out there?
But an unexpected problem develops.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that we've been having trouble with. Just make sure you get him back outside. Yeah, he's going down the stairs now, thanks.
The hotel security backed off from the front. They were supposed to keep this place sealed, so that compounds our problem right now.
Oh, boy.
Here we go. Excuse me, where have I seen you that sends the...
Out in the hotel lobby,
Our basic responsibility is to keep an eye on this individual.
the man worrying the security team is moving around freely.
Thank you.
Close to the stars.
Now, this guy hasn't done anything tonight. He's just been hanging around.
Exactly.
Is that fairly typical that these guys will hang around for hours?
Yes, it is. And especially when they're able to see flesh and blood, their idol, if you will, then absolutely they take whatever time necessary to achieve that.
For that, I thank you.
Despite the security lapse, the evening ends peacefully.
Everything went off okay.
With no serious confrontations.
Overall, the event went really well.
But it's a scary business for the security people
Stand by.
and the stars they protect. The threat from stalkers is unpredictable and constant.
So behind all this glitter and showbiz,
it's a real world. The threat is there, and it's growing, and now people are taking it serious.
When you are walking into the courtroom for the sentencing, what's going to be going through your mind?
I realize her parents are going to be there and they're going to talk bad about me.
This is it. This is it. It's going to be all over.
I realize their pain, you know. I realize that I've taken a life. I believe I should pay for it, you know. If they hate me for the rest of life, I can understand that, you know. You know, Rebecca didn't deserve what happened to her.
In a Los Angeles courtroom, Robert Bardo returns for his sentencing, his punishment for killing Rebecca Schaefer.
For this heinous crime, this tragedy, the imposition of life without the possibility of parole is not only the most we can do, it is also the very least we can do.
It was just a little ding in the bumper, Sam.
21-year-old actress Rebecca Schaefer was on her way to stardom when she was murdered by Bardo. He stalked and killed her when she came to the door of her L.A. apartment.
His plans were methodical and detailed.
You claim not to be a star stalker.
I didn't feel I was, but maybe I am now, since she died from it. Hell.
This defendant had a fascination with murder and assassins from a very early age.
Prosecutor Marcia Clark.
And long before he knew of Rebecca Schaefer.
Do you consider yourself an assassin?
I wouldn't want to consider myself. I wouldn't want to consider. I think that's what I probably am, but that's not something I would want to be. It's nothing I ever wanted to. You know, it's nothing I want. Gee, something that I wouldn't want to boast about.
Just relax.
Bardo's attorney, Stephen Galindo.
Robert is not the sophisticated, cold-blooded killer that the district attorney is trying to establish that he is.
Thank you, Mr. Galindo. Your Honor, Mrs. Dana Schaefer.
Rebecca's family and friends are here today to make sure the court puts Bardo behind bars forever.
I'm Rebecca's mother. I wish that I could believe in a literal heaven, so that when strangers say to me, "Do you have any children?" I can say, "Yes, I have a beautiful daughter in heaven." Because that way I could place her. But because I don't believe that, all I have is this absence of her. And the violence of her death makes that even more unbearable. Your Honor, this is a picture of the three of us.
I miss Rebecca terribly. There are times when I hear her voice when I'm sitting alone reading and listening to some music.
Rebecca's uncles.
And the pain turns to a kind of anger that I've never felt before. I hate the criminal who killed Rebecca.
I'm more angry than I know how to express. And I'm sure that if I could focus that anger, Robert Bardo would be dead instantaneously.
Rebecca Schaefer's family, the parents lost their only child, I deserve to hate people that are courting me because what I did was wrong.
Bardo avoided the death penalty by accepting a trial without jury. So the maximum he can get is life without parole. And his attorney wants that reduced on grounds Bardo himself is a victim.
Here is an individual who developed a mental illness, a mental disorder through no fault of his own. If Robert is not a victim, then what do you describe as to what happened to him? His cries for help that remained unanswered.
To call this defendant a victim, Your Honor, is to sully the word. Frankly, I think it's a grotesque disfigurement of the meaning that we all attribute to that term. The only true victim in this case is Rebecca Schaefer. And to mention Robert Bardo's name in the same breath as hers under the umbrella of the word victim is not only unpardonable, it's offensive. I want no one to forget the fact that Robert Bardo wakes up every morning and Rebecca Schaefer lies buried in a grave in Oregon. Her breath of life was snuffed out by Robert Bardo and his selfish, overweening greed for fame.
Your Honor, Robert has asked me to ask you if he could be allowed to make a statement.
Judge Dino Fogoni is reluctant, based on something Bardo allegedly told a probation officer.
That is the fact that he expressed a desire to reenact the killing in front of the family at this hearing.
What Robert asked me now is if he could be allowed
All right,
to
I'll allow him to talk, but I will have him shackled and gagged immediately if he goes into the reenactment in any way.
This idea that I killed her for fame is just totally ridiculous. I do realize, the magnitude of what I've done, But I don't think it needs to be compounded by a bunch of lies just because she was an actress. Hey, if you want to give me life without parole or death or whatever, do so. But there's no need to compound my case with lies just because she was a celebrity and whatever people think how low I am.
Defendant is sentenced to the state prison for a period of life without possibility of parole.
It's over, it's over, it's over. He'll be in there for the rest of his life, thank God.
Do you think about Rebecca Schaefer?
Almost 24 hours a day still. I guess I'd say I'm still obsessed with her.
This week, a break for Ohio Dr. Jim Barr. He thinks he has finally found the mystery woman who plagued him and his family. The woman, one of Barr's patients, admitted nothing but agreed to seek help. And 3 weeks ago, police say the woman stalking Arthur Navarro violated her probation, started harassing him again, and even threatened his life. But for now, at least, that woman is back in custody. I'm Dan Rather. That's 48 Hours for this week. Coming up, your late local news. But first, here's a look ahead to our next report.